You were like an overall deal or something. You weren't necessarily looking to run a show when you came on to Friday Night Lights, correct?
The Friday Night Lights, I had just been, yeah. So what happened was I had been on an overall deal at 20th, and that overall deal was ending.
Was Roswell part of that?
I did Relativity, which was my first show. I did Roswell under that show.
I got to give a whoop whoop to Roswell. I loved Roswell. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So then I was kind of like, done with the deal, and I was sort of thinking about, okay, I want to spend a year sort of figuring out what I want to do now. You just want to like sort of take a step back. So I wasn't looking to do a show, and I ran into David Nevins, who at the time was the I don't know what he was.
I don't know what he was, but he was at Imagine.
Imagine.
Was that Ron Howard's company? Yeah.
He was kind of the head of the television division there. And he said, he asked me, he said to me, like, are you interested in, running a show? And I said, no, I want to figure out what I want to do next. And he said, well, like, are you a football guy? Do you like football? No, I'm a baseball guy. And he's like, well, look, I said, he said, did you ever read or see the movie Friday Night Lights? And I said, no. And he said,
he really wanted you.
You're like, what part of I don't like football do you understand?
We just did a pilot, and Pete Berg directed it. Would you come and watch the pilot? And so I went to Imagine, I watched the pilot, and after the pilot, I was like, what the fuck am I going to do next year that's better than this? That's how I got, that's how I wanted to get involved in Friday Nights. And then I had to, kind of meet with Pete and talk to him and, get his blessing.
I had to know what that was like, because you guys are two very different personalities, but you clearly had some sort of synergy that worked. You took the mantle. It was very interesting working with Pete because, first of all, like after I watched the pilot, I literally had like two questions, and if I was going to get involved in the show, and the two questions were, what happens to Jason Street? And the second question was, will you film this show in Texas?
Wow.
Because it was kind of like, I watched it and I was like, well, if Street isn't paralyzed, then there's no way to make the show to be the show as good as what this pilot was and how good the book was. It's got, we have to tell this story. We have to tell a real story. And the second thing was like, if we had to try to make this in LA or really anywhere else other than Texas, there'd be like, you'd be
driving to Valencia a lot.
There's no way to make this, to make the show. The show was so...
It was such a character on the show.
The culture was so crucial. And by the way, I didn't even realize how crucial. Once we got there and we shot there, I was like, oh my God, And so those were the things. And then I met with Pete. And Pete, I think, when he met me, was like, at the beginning of the meeting, he was kind of very dubious, because I think he had heard, he was like, just like, he didn't really know me from a hole in the wall. And I think he probably heard, I very proudly stated how I knew nothing about football. He was not into that,
This is why you're the first guest on It's Not Only Football.
Truly.
And, and I met with him and I talked to him about what I thought the show needed to be and what it was and what it needed to be and how to kind of take care of it and to make the show continue to grow and make it better and honor what the pilot was, what the movie was, what the book was. And then that was it. I mean, honestly, like he was like, okay, let's make the show.